When dealing with the geometry of parcel layout, you'll need to be able to work with curves. To do so, you'll need the help of the fillet and edit curve commands. Let's see how they work. Let's go back to our 5-acre parcel, and if you recall, we changed the shape of this parcel and took a little bit of it out of a parcel that used to be here. We brought back a cul-de-sac parcel here, but we also had to shrink down the size of this parcel 120. And let's just say we got some feedback that says, look, we just can't have that parcel be under the minimum third of an acre requirement. So this lot line is going to have to go back where it was. And to do that, I'll just simply use the diamond-shaped grip and snap to this endpoint. So now we're back to a 0.34 or third of an acre parcel, back to where it was before. But as we had before, we're not quite at 5 acres with this larger parcel. So how can we get a little bit more area out of this parcel? Well, what if we took this sharp angle here and kind of smoothed it out with a curve? Wouldn't that be a nice thing to try? So how do we do that? How do we add a curve to this parcel line? Well, typically when we add curves, we want them to be tangent at either end, and that's what a fillet is. It creates a curve that's tangent to the two lines that are before and after it. The problem is, as we learned in the previous video, not all AutoCAD commands work on parcel objects. So if I launch the fillet command and use it as I normally would, just nothing happens. It doesn't even recognize this as an object that it can fillet. And once again, if we go to the contextual ribbon, we find that there's a tool there that is designed for parcel objects, and there is in fact a fillet tool right here. So all I have to do is launch the tool. Right now the radius is set to 50 feet, so a little different than the AutoCAD command in which you pick the segments before and after. Here you pick a PI and it places a fillet at the location of that PI. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll click my PI and I'm just letting it use the 50-foot radius default. I'll press enter and I'm not quite there. I'm still at 4.98 acres and I'm not real pleased with that geometry anyway. I kind of pictured something a little more rounded here. So how can I take this curve and change its geometry? The answer is yet another tool up here on the ribbon, and it's called Edit Curve. And you'll see it here right next to the fillet tool. So I'll go ahead and launch the tool, Edit Curve, select on the curve that I want to modify, and this tool actually has no AutoCAD equivalent. This is a very handy tool which pops up this dialog box that lets you edit the radius of the curve. So really handy in that I can type in a value, let's say 100 feet, hit apply, and get some feedback, get a look at what it will actually look like. I'd like it a little more rounded than that, and I want to zoom out a bit so I can see what's happening. So I'm going to hit OK, zoom out a bit, click the curve again, and this time I'm going to try 300. Let's hit apply. That curve is a little bit too big. It won't fit in the space that's allowed. So let's go ahead and try 250. Same deal there. It looks like we're probably going to have to go with 200. So there's a 200-foot curve. I'll go ahead and click OK. Check out my acreage and look at that. I'm over 5 acres. I've met that requirement. I have a pretty nice geometric solution here where I've got a nice rounded back lot line, which will be nice for these lots here. And I've got my 5-acre requirement met, and I've returned parcel 120 back to its required 1/3 of an acre. So by adding a fillet and being able to edit the geometry of that curve, I'm able to satisfy all my needs. So as you can see, the fillet and edit curve commands are essential when working with the curve geometry in your lot layout.